You're listening to Alcoholics Alive, where recovered members of Alcoholics Anonymous share their experience on how they live AA as a way of life. None of our participants get paid or speak for AA. Here are your hosts, Shank and Wayne. Welcome to Alcoholics Alive. If you listened to last week's episode, we want to apologize for the audio quality. I know it was what's the word? Audible. It was still legible, not legible, audible.
Tolerable?
Tolerable. But I know there was something wrong with it. We haven't figured it out, so we're hoping this one's better. Now, Shank, we rewrote the statement last week. It works if you work it.
Mm-hmm.
To it works, it really does.
Or it works if we have the proper attitude and work at it. Yes.
The one, though, it works, it really does, is on page 88, line 8. And I have ordered some posters to put on the wall that say it works, it really does.
Nice.
So once we get the sample in, we'll see if we want to start marketing and selling these.
We want to give the copyright to GSO.
We may do that.
Sell it.
What is our Upon Awakening reading?
Our Upon Awakening today comes from the book Alcoholics Anonymous, 4th edition, 2001. For page 95, and it says, tell him that if he wants to get well, you will do anything to help.
Well, now that's a very direct statement. I guess the question for us is it really, would we actually say that to somebody, or would we do that?
You wouldn't say this, but I've seen you go to great lengths to help people. Maybe not a great length for you, but...
Oh, no, I would call it a great length. Is that not being humble?
I think that's just a fact.
Tell him that if he wants to get well, you will do anything to help.
This is just such a great reminder of what the purpose is, and that I have purpose today.
Yep. And it's certainly something that we should be willing to do. If somebody really wants to get well, we should be willing to do anything to help them. And the book and the Working with Others gives some very good instructions on how to do that and what to do and what not to do and things to look for. The challenge with it is sometimes it's hard to tell if a person actually wants to get well. They can, sometimes it looks like they want to, but they really don't.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or you've been through the exact same experience with the same person 20 times.
Or more.
You're like, you're doing the thing that you always do.
Yep.
Like, you're doing it, that you're saying the stuff, but I see what you're out here doing, actually.
We run across that quite often, actually.
Yeah, unfortunately, really.
You never know when it might be the real time or the last time.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you got to keep helping. The thing about that I never want to miss, this is like an old AA thing, even for those people that like continue to relapse or continue to come around, and you continue to help them, and we stay sober.
That's right.
Yeah. So I have people talk junk to me about helping a guy for 30 years that's never stayed sober. I'm like, well, it's worked out pretty well for me.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
So, what is our topic today?
Today, our topic is take the cotton out of your ears and put it in your mouth. Have you ever heard that saying?
Well, I'll tell you, I used to hear this quite often, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, sitting in one of those old clubhouses back in the late 80s and the early 90s, you would get a fair amount of old codgers, I call them, sitting over there and telling people this. Hey, why don't you take the cotton out of your ears and put it in your mouth, boy?
Like, stop talking, you need to listen.
Baby, basically stop talking, you need to listen. I kind of feel like it's not something that you hear a lot anymore in a meeting. Now, it may be because we don't go to some of those meetings where you would hear it, or I rarely go to a meeting anymore in a clubhouse.
Yeah.
Which I think is where you'd probably hear it a lot. I'm trying to think if I've ever actually said it to anybody. I don't think so.
I know I haven't.
Yeah.
There was one guy at my first home group, and he would say a lot of, he used to love saying, put the plug in the jug, and I'm pretty sure he would say, take the cotton out of your ears and put it in your mouth, but he was referencing like when and where he got sober, that's what the old timers told him. And he would say it all the time too. Every time he would share, he'd say, I just had to put the plug in the jug.
That would probably be mostly where you'd hear it nowadays. And somebody share or in their telling their story, they would be referencing that somebody told them this.
Yeah.
Right. Now, I will say this. I think that there's probably not much behind it, but there's a little merit in the idea of, especially like a new person.
Yeah.
That comes into a meeting and immediately like start sharing, or it's a topic that they have no experience in, and they start talking about it. Sometimes you'd want to say this to them. It would certainly remind them that they don't know what's best for themselves, and that, hey, if you're new in recovery, you're probably better off to listen.
Yeah.
And talk less. This
may be a surprise to anyone that really knows me, but when I was new, I would never, I didn't talk, I didn't want to share, I was not raising my hand. If you called on me, there's a good chance that I would politely pass. I would go to coffee and just sit there.
Yeah. I sat in meetings for months before I ever actually openly shared. I mean, months, and I would pass most of the time. And maybe I did that because I didn't want anybody to say this to me. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if it's very helpful.
I don't think it is, and I don't know anyone that would seriously say this today, if there is anyone out there, it probably wouldn't be someone that I looked up to and would take advice or experience from anyway, personally.
I would agree with that for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so I'm trying to think, sitting back in a meeting years ago and hearing somebody say this, it just comes off as very controlling and demeaning. And obviously even if the guy should be quiet, it doesn't come across with a whole lot of love and tolerance.
Mm-hmm.
And it can come across as like, hey, I'm in charge, you need to be quiet.
Yeah. Well, and it just really makes me think of when I was new, even in my first 2 or 3 years, after I was out of prison, I remember at a meeting there was a drunk guy. He kept taking over the meeting, and just like he had been sober at some point before them for like 10 years, and then he'd been drinking for a while. And a guy that I still know today that I was in meetings with a lot, he respectfully said, hey, why don't you go sit out in the hall? I'll be out there in just a minute. And I remember thinking, like, I can't believe that this guy I look up to asked someone to leave the freaking AA meeting. Now, I was just annoyed as everyone else in the room, but he did go out there and talk to him and sat out there with him and talked to him like the rest of the meeting. And they came back in for the prayer. And so in times that I've seen where maybe someone would even want to say this, like, hey, sit down and shut up, instead, it's been like, hey, let's go over here and talk. If you're purely a drug addict, you shouldn't be at a closed AA meeting. Let's go in the hallway and figure that out. Do you have a book? You know, things like that.
Yes, so I have. Just recently. I mean, if there's a guy in the meeting or somebody that I'm sponsoring that's like talking a lot in the meeting, or that's dominating the conversation, or that shares something that has nothing to do with the topic, or shares something that he doesn't have any experience on, I will talk to them after the meeting and, have a conversation with them about, hey, maybe you should listen during some of those meetings and talk less. And I think the inappropriate thing to do is to do that like publicly, or, like during the meeting, telling a guy to take the cotton out of his ears and put it in his mouth. And I will sometimes, well, you've seen this recently, I will stop a guy. If he's getting real long on his share, I think we had that happen Sunday morning.
Yes.
And I had to stop the guy and was like, hey, let's finish that after the meeting. Because he's talking about stuff that's completely unrelated to what the group was talking about. And he got a little long-winded. And I think I may have called him by the wrong name, but even that got his, I did that on purpose, but that got his attention even. Well, no, I knew that wasn't his name.
Oh.
Oh, I did know that wasn't his name, but it was the only name I could think of. So so that's why but it got his attention.
It was close though.
It was.
Well, so maybe this is kind of not the point of what we're talking about right now, but I'm going to divert us anyway for a second. Why is it that some people believe that they need to share in every single meeting? Or if they don't hear something that is maybe, quote, their experience, then when they share, it's like, well, I haven't heard this the entire meeting and I just feel really led to share it. And then they share it. And quite frankly, it's usually exactly what everyone else is sharing. Because we all kind of at some point, if you're really talking about Alcoholics Anonymous and your recovery from alcoholism, at some point we're kind of all saying the same thing. So is that just like area, district, state specific?
I think it's a little bit of both and sponsorship related.
Oh.
So there are sponsors that tell their people that they sponsor to share in every meeting. That happens around here. Tell them to share in every meeting. And I don't know where that comes from. I don't know how it got started. And they'll also tell them, if they have a problem, you used to hear this a lot. The sponsor would tell them, take it to a meeting.
Yeah.
You ever heard that? Take it to a meeting. And then they would come into the meeting and they would share their problem immediately at the very beginning. And then you would have, 35 psychiatrists trying to fix that guy or girl. And so I think that's where that comes from. It's from sponsorship. Now, I don't know why. The second thing you brought up, we hear that a lot. I didn't hear this, so I think those folks are just trying to hear themselves talk, or they think they're saving the group.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
Well, it's just interesting. When I went to the group that meets at GSO. This was a few years ago, and I've been to some groups, outside of where we live. And I'm telling you, the meeting in the ground floor of the building, Rockefeller Center at GSO, when I tell you, people have their hand halfway up when the person doing the lead is like They know when they have 60 seconds left and their hands are halfway up. People are bracing like halfway in their chair. And as soon as the person, like no one even says thank you. As soon as the person is like, thanks for letting me share, 25 hands immediately are up. I mean, it like scared me.
I bet.
Like the room shakes almost with how many people are like trying to like get in position and put their hand up really fast. And I guess you kind of have to do that in groups, I don't know, where there are areas where there are so many groups and so many people. I don't know if you ever want to share. You just have to immediately put your hand up. But it was crazy.
I bet it was. I would just jump in. Just start talking. Yeah. But, that's why some of those people, I shouldn't get too specific here, but they'll come to like a group that calls on people.
Yeah.
They'll come in there after the sponsor told them to go share at a meeting, and they'll come to one of those groups that are a little more structured, and they can't immediately just openly share about their day. They leave.
Yeah.
They won't stay around. And I don't know. I was never taught to treat an AA meeting like a group therapy, but that's what a lot of people, I think that's how they experience an AA meeting.
Yeah. Well, and also, I don't know, I guess for me, when the person is sharing, everyone puts their hands down and then they assume the position again. And being someone, like that was my first time, I've been back a couple times, but at that meeting, I'm not just going to like jump in the first time that I'm there personally.
No.
I mean, maybe if it were way off track and they were talking about, I don't know, horse races the whole time or something, but.
Yeah. Well, what's the big book say?
All right. Here's what the book Alcoholics Anonymous says. Page 95. If he is sincerely interested and wants to see you again, ask him to read this book in the interval.
Well, that also kind of ties into your Upon Awakening.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is another direction that's in the book that's pretty clear cut that we sometimes miss. So this is telling us to actually give the book to somebody and say, hey, go read the book.
Mm-hmm.
So it suggests that, well, here's one thing I like about it is people need to decide for themselves if they want Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yes.
And this is a way to do that. Now, should we do more for a new person? Yes. Mm-hmm. But this is one thing that we should do because it suggests a spirit of being patient with the person and not dominating them. And, hey, it's kind of, hey, we have a way out. If you want it, we can help you. And you don't have to worry about any cotton in your ears or your mouth.
That's right.
What else you got?
Page 164. We realize we know only a little.
Well, I was thinking we knew quite a bit, actually, but it may not amount to anything. I think this is a good attitude to have that, we have our own experience, obviously, but to think that we're the end-all and be-all and that we have a solution for everybody and that we know everything would be naive and very arrogant.
Mm-hmm.
And, if you're helping a new person, this kind of ties in with being humble and we're going to do this together. And maybe the old timer needs to take the cotton out of their mouth, in their ears, and put it in their mouth, right?
Maybe.
Nope.
All right, and we have page 159. Though they knew they must help other alcoholics if they would remain sober, that motive became secondary. It was transcended by the happiness they found in giving themselves for others.
Well, that suggests love, service, tolerance, and not having power over other people. Again, it's a little bit of the opposite of telling somebody to shut up. Now, you may tell somebody to shut up, but just not publicly and not quite like that.
Yeah.
Right? It would be one-on-one in private.
Oh, I've been told plenty of times
Yeah.
by my sponsor, like, hey, how about you not say that?
Right. That's right. Now, Shank, I'm curious to see what we do with the traditions and the concepts on this one. There's probably some good tie-ins.
Okay. Tradition 1,
Yep.
long form. Each member of Alcoholics Anonymous is but a small part of a great whole. AA must continue to live, or most of us will surely die. Hence, our common welfare comes first.
Well, I think I like that. It tells us that the welfare of the many is more important than me. So, trying to silence somebody or telling them to be quiet does not promote unity or mutual respect. Now, on the flip side of that, though, if I'm paying attention, then maybe what's best for the group is for me to be quiet.
It could be.
Right? Yeah.
Although maybe this is also why those people share every meeting or think they need to share something they haven't heard.
Yeah.
Even though I hear them share it, I'm like, I actually just heard that from 10 people.
Exactly. But the long form of tradition 1 is really, I mean, it's actually pretty powerful. And I mean, it tells me that the common welfare is more important. Or it should come first. So I should probably try to get along with people and help support them instead of trying to hurt their feelings by telling them to take the cotton out of their ears and put it in their mouth.
I still really don't believe that I've heard anyone like say that seriously. Email us if you have.
Yeah, that's a good thing if you haven't.
Yeah, I think I've only heard people reference that someone said that to them.
Which they probably never actually did.
Yeah. Okay.
What about the concept?
So we have concept 9, long form. Good leadership originates plans, policies, and ideas for the improvement of our fellowship and its service. It is wise always to remember that ultimate authority is only the spiritual concept of the group conscience.
So that's taken from the long form of concept 9.
It is the fellowship.
The fellowship. Yep. See there, that's the old redneck, the old hillbilly comes out every once in a while.
Sneaks back in there.
Yep. Well, leadership in AA, as we've talked a lot about this over the last 9 months, I guess, is not dominating. It's about setting a good example and listening and respecting the group conscience. And I think we've kind of known this, and that's part of why we've been doing meeting shrapnel and things like this for a long time, is that slogans probably do more harm than good.
Yeah.
They're frothy and there's no depth to them. And concept 9 is all about, I would say, depth and leadership and actually putting stuff into action and not just talking about it. So there's a lot more to Alcoholics Anonymous than just telling somebody to take the cotton out of their ears and put it in their mouth.
That's right.
So I think it's a good thing that we don't hear this anymore in meetings, other than just people referencing what may have had happened to them years ago. I will say this, though. I think there's some legitimacy to the actual comment that people should listen more and talk less.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the intent of the comment.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like there's more of in today's society, people think they've got to keep talking. And I think we learn in AA that we don't get better by talking or by feeling. We get better by taking action.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with talking. Nothing wrong with feeling. That's not what we're saying. But we get better by taking actions. And that's what we need to be doing. So let's replace these little silly comments with action and with, I guess, respect and love for others. And people do deserve the truth. So if a guy's talking too much in a meeting, or he's talking about something that's really irrelevant, it is okay to actually have a conversation with him after the meeting. So with that, take that cotton out of your earphones, Shank, and put it in your microphone. How about that? That's
Good
the
one.
virtual. That's the virtual statement.
Version.
Let's go to Living Sober Shrapnel.
All right, Living Sober Shrapnel, our segment of lore, myth, and sayings from the booklet Living Sober. We have arrived at page 83 in the booklet, and our first shrapnel is the unvarnished facts.
Ooh.
So this says, it may help if you try to remember that AA members are not eager to question you. We may not even seem to be listening to you much, but spend more time laying on the unvarnished facts of our own illness. We are in pursuit of recovery, you know, so we talk to you very much for our own benefit. We want to help you all right, but only if you want us to.
I love this. I'm going to tie... Now, Shank, listen, something just hit me. I'm getting us off track. You've not even acknowledged the last 2 weeks I have tied in Living Sober Shrapnel into my shares into the meeting.
I have noticed that.
Okay, all right.
I don't have the capability to do that.
It's hard to do without laughing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Unvarnished facts. I like it. So a few things about the reading. You notice it doesn't say we question you. We're not eager to question you. Mm-hmm. The guy that made a 12-step call on me didn't ask me a bunch of questions. Mm-hmm. He talked about himself. He kind of exposed himself some, which would be unvarnished facts about his own illness. And he did probably make a comment that I was helping him more than he was helping me.
Yeah.
And I like the last comment, only if you want us to. We try to help a lot of people that don't want our help.
Mm-hmm. Or who are only fulfilling, the ask from a family member, a spouse, the court, whomever. And if you're doing that, then by all means, come and sit at the group.
Yeah.
Maybe you will decide for yourself, or we will talk to you enough about our own drinking, you may start to relate, but I don't have to convince you to stay or be here or be one of us, or whatever,
But we've heard that a lot the last few weeks, haven't we?
Yeah.
Hey, they're one of us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When I came to the rooms.
All of the things.
You can't not hear it now, can you?
No.
Well, what do you think about this one?
This one's pretty good. Now, this is still under the chapter of trying the 12 steps. So we're chapter 30 here in the old Living Sober booklet. So I like the unvarnished facts.
I'm going to keep it.
All right, we're keeping it. Our next Living Sober Shrapnel, we're still on page 83, is an ailment characterized especially by egocentricity.
I'll give you an A+ for saying all that without stumbling.
It may be that problem drinking is indeed, as some psychological experts say, an ailment characterized especially by egocentricity. Not all alcoholics are egotistical, although many of us have learned to see that tendency in ourselves. Others of us felt inferior most of the time. We felt equal or superior to other people only when drinking.
Egocentricity
Egocentricity
is a term that I never fully understood until I had been sober for many years. And I think it comes in many different forms. Now, the idea of feeling less than or better than, or what this says, inferior or superior, I was familiar with that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I always was less than or better than, depending on the situation. This is an interesting statement. It's interesting to me how he can have something so simple above it, and then now you got this, and it's like you're trying to twist your head up a little bit to figure out what he's saying.
What's interesting to me is how this piece of alcoholism, as described by the book Alcoholics Anonymous, never changes.
Never. Yeah. Good point. Well, an ailment, huh?
Like the absolute inability to see anything from, a different point of view or perspective, or, you just couldn't tell me that I was, I don't know, egocentric or selfish when I got here. But very quickly, when it was explained to me that it was very selfish and I was operating out of ego when I changed my phone number one day and just didn't give my mom the number and did not care, that was very selfish. I'm like, no, you don't understand. Let me tell you all these things that she did.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's interesting. He kind of contradicts himself, because he says that drinking is an ailment characterized especially by egocentricity. And then he says not all alcoholics are egotistical.
Mm-hmm.
Well, which one is it?
Although many of us have learned to see that tendency in ourselves. That's like, in the second step, it says power.
It's a
in
trick.
The third step, it says God.
Yeah.
It's like that.
It's my HP whom I choose to call God.
God.
Well, we've heard that a lot recently. So I think on this one, I'm scrapping it.
All right, it's out of here. Our third shrapnel, we get to page 84 here, an insincere gesture. Here's what it says. Trying to heal ourselves by helping others works, even when it is an insincere gesture. Try it sometime.
It's gesture.
Oh.
I mean, I know it's spelled with a G, but it's not gesture.
Gesture. How do you say it?
It's a gesture.
Gesture?
Yes, look it up. Trying to heal ourselves by helping others works.
Even when it is an insincere
Even
gesture?
when it's an insincere gesture. Try it sometime.
Gesture?
Gesture.
I'm thinking of like the
Court gesture?
Yeah.
No. Gesture. All right.
Jester. Jester? An insincere gesture?
It's a gesture. So, so this is saying that
What is this saying?
you can get better by helping somebody else, even if you're insincere and you're doing it.
That's a fact.
I think it is a fact, yes. And I really like the comment, try it sometime.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So, I don't know, he's basically saying, hey, if you want to heal, go help somebody.
Yeah.
Even if you don't mean it. Again, it's the action that gets us better, not the feeling or the thought. We focus way too much on thoughts and feelings nowadays.
I guess I've never really considered if it's insincere or not. I also wouldn't say, I don't know, like in a public forum or, I don't know, in a group of people, I wouldn't say, oh my gosh, I just really didn't want to answer the phone and I really didn't want to do this. I don't feel that way. Like sometimes I'm at work and I can't answer the phone and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to have time to call this person back. Like I need to get to it as soon as possible or da-da-da-da-da. But, I don't know. I'm sure that there were times it was insincere. Maybe I just don't think about it in that way.
Well, it doesn't have to apply. I mean, some people are very sincere. Yeah. But then there may be some people that aren't. So, I think I've always been sincere in trying to help people. But it's just like you can recover and not be completely honest for a little while. Hey, listen, Shank, let's see what Webster says about this word.
Okay.
Listen.
Okay.
Gesture. Gesture.
Wait, get a non-American
Gesture.
to say it.
Gesture.
Gesture. That was right from our Merriam-Webster dictionary app.
An insincere gesture.
Gesture. Gesture.
Insincere gesture.
All right. I think I like this one.
I do too.
All right, I'm going to keep it.
All right. So we've kept two.
Yeah,
and I learned a new word.
You did learn a new word. Gesture. I learned a new one. Egocentricity. Mm-hmm. I don't think I've ever seen that word before. I've seen egocentric, but not egocentricity. And I will point out, you said that one correctly.
Thank you.
From according to Merriam-Webster.
Thank you. Applause, please.
Well, hey, we appreciate you listening to us today. Remember, the book Alcoholics Anonymous has clear-cut directions on how to recover from alcoholism. You don't have to worry about taking any cotton out of your mouth and putting it in your ears, or taking it out of your ears and putting it in your mouth, whichever way you want to go with it. Take the steps and be free.
Gesture.
Thanks for listening. If you have a comment, suggestion, or just need help, you can email Shank and Wayne at freedom@alcoholicsalive.com. Remember, we're recovered members of Alcoholics Anonymous, but we do not speak for Alcoholics Anonymous, nor do we get paid. Join us next week for another great episode.